Thank you for joining me for part 2 of a close-up look at the Hallmark Keepsakes that I purchased in 2025. Starting with the Hallmark Originals in Merry Mechanical Ride. The design detail and finishes on this ornament, especially the characters, are absolutely on point. Compared to the elf and the reindeer, the base is a little plain, but that's also true to this type of ride. When we received our ornament, the top of the button was rubbed off, and you can see where it's actually rubbed through the tissue paper and onto the back of the box. So essentially, I think at least for our ornament, it was either sitting a little high or they didn't quite allow enough room for the button. But it has in no way impacted its functionality. And you pretty much get the motion you would expect. I did personally find that the sound was a bit too high-pitched and distorted a bit as it came out, but it's super cute. Moving on to this year's version of Mary's Angels, named Hydrangea. This cute little redhead angel has beautifully sculpted ringlets and a beautiful little butterfly clip in her hair and a matching yellow caterpillar on her toe. The details of this ornament are simple but on point. I love that they've put a little iridescence onto her wings. And not that you'll probably get to see it very often because I mostly noticed it when I had the ornament upside down. But I love the way the light plays in the semi-transparent cloud. And moving on to the ornaments that Hallmark made in collaboration with other brands, starting with Gilmore Girls and the Stars Hollow Gazebo. The high points for me in this ornament is that they've used a white iridescent finish for the snow, and I love that the roof tiles are actually sculpted texture, but I'm kind of disappointed that we contrast that level of detail with what are essentially brick stickers for the base of the gazebo. But in general, I think they've done a really good job recreating what they were aiming for. This ornament is battery operated, and you get a clip of the Gilmore Girls theme song. But again, unfortunately, in this ornament, I'm not a huge fan of the speaker quality. And honestly, I think it'd be a really nice, but possibly cheaper ornament without the sound component. And for our second Gilmore Girls installment, with this mini set of ornaments. This is a really cute set of tiny ornaments inspired by Luke's diner. My biggest grumble applies to all three, and it's why do they all need to be tagged with Gilmore Girls? They've come out of the box, you know where they've come from, and if you're a fan, you know what they're referring to. And in the show, it never would have had Gilmore Girls written on it. So while, yes, it's true, and you may otherwise not know where this random coffee cup comes from, as a fan who likes collecting merchandisey type things, this actually feels like it takes me away from the effect rather than adding to it. But I will give them full credit for the details in the painting. There's no bleeding lines on something so small. Moving on to the T-1000 from Terminator 2, Judgement Day. This ornament is doing a fantastic job capturing just one of the crazy moments that this robot went through. For an ornament that is just standing on two proportionally sized feet, it really shocked me with how well it stands. My favourite, and the one that I think is the best executed, is the shot through the face. For some reason, the shots to the body just don't quite sit the same with me, especially from a bit of a profile angle. They give the effect of almost having a pie tin stuck on the outside of him rather than something being blasted in. So I guess I feel that the craters of the body bullet should have been dug in a bit further. Moving on to a piece from one of my favourite movies of all time. Help! Shark! From the Jaws 50th anniversary. This is a take on the Welcome to Amity Island sign. They've gone with a lenticular image for the main picture of the sign, and I'm not sure if it's in the details of how they've done this particular lenticular design, but I found, especially because there's nothing to replace it with but essentially blank space, the fin especially just never quite disappears. So when you manage to get a glimpse of it like completely clean, it never really quite looks at you know there's something going on. So I feel like the effect didn't fully execute. A fun surprise for me when I opened this ornament is that I love the back almost as much as I love the front. There is absolutely no colour but this strong gold on the back, and yet you can see this 3D design so well. And there's just something about the way they have the shark from the poster featured on top of the 50. Moving on to a double set of ornaments from Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. I like them as a set, and I think the box is a fun idea. And I like that it's a movie moment that we don't often get to see. But I'm still sitting on the fence as to how I feel about the character design. And I didn't realise until I opened them, but everything except for the front desk is made out of a funny rubbery sort of product. So that explains why Harry's brand new one's a bit crooked, because it just flexes any which way it wants to. Ollivander being attached to his big desk has no problem standing, but I did have a little trouble getting Harry not to topple over. And we have a miniature Hedwig, perched on top of a stack of books, with her head nearly turned right around. This miniature Hedwig ornament is simple, but really well executed. And we have a potted Mandrake from Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. Considering in its dormant form, the majority of this ornament is the pot, I think they've done a pretty good job putting as much detail as they were able to into what is a very simple object. I think his leaves on top are well done, but maybe could have done with a little bit of colour variant just for something interesting, because it is, again, the majority of what this ornament is when it's sitting on its own. The Mandrake tuber is exactly how it's supposed to be. So I can't quite put my finger on why it just doesn't feel like it has enough detail. So the answer is probably nothing, and they're supposed to look unappealing. This ornament is also battery operated, and with a little bit of strength you can pull up your Mandrake, but make sure you packed your hearing protection. Moving on to an ornament featuring Berlioz, Toulouse and Marie from the Aristocats for the 55th anniversary. This is probably the ornament that went into my basket the fastest this year. I'm just the right age that I have the biggest soft spot for the Aristocats. And this ornament is nearly perfect in capturing their little characters. I love that Marie's bows have a little bit of shiny finish, so they look like satin ribbons. And I could just keep staring at this ornament, especially the brothers. And onto A Magical Celebration from Disneyland's 70th anniversary. As someone who loves going to a Disney theme park, I absolutely wanted this ornament. I balked a little at the price, and then come the end of the day, I just could not bring this home this year. The level of sculpture and detail I think is absolutely on point. The only thing I may have redesigned is the little Tinkerbell, because during fireworks, a real Tinkerbell flies, so why does she look like a star or a firework? One of the things that I absolutely love is the effect of the frosted blue plastic behind the castle as the sky, because there seems to be a bit of a gap and then a shiny surface behind, which makes it very dimensional every time you move it around. This ornament runs on batteries, and you get a bit of a castle light show as you listen to the fireworks popping. I do wish it worked a little more the way that the lighthouses do, that I reviewed in part 1, where they have lights that just come on when you plug them into the Keepsake power cord, and they have lights that sort of transition colours in those as well. Because I would like to have this on a shelf just lit up all the time. And to be honest, the sounds of listening to the fireworks aren't the most pleasurable for me. But even just as a dormant ornament, I absolutely love this, and it makes my little Disney nerd heart happy. And for another Disney edition, with Kermit's Rainbow Connection from the Muppets. Parts of Kermit are a little rubbery, but that makes sense because he moves when it sings. And his banjo is made of sort of thin plastic, so I would be careful, especially with the neck, that it doesn't snap off. And while I didn't have any trouble with getting him to sit, I did find that it changed a little bit depending if he was plugged in or not, because he kind of rolls on the log. This ornament runs on a Keepsake power cord, and you can hear and watch Kermit sing Rainbow Connection.
Why are there so many songs about rainbows? And what's on the other side? Rainbows are visions, but only illusions. And rainbows have nothing to hide. So we've been told, and some choose to believe it. I know their own way and see. Someday we'll find it, the rainbow connection. The lovers, the dreamers, and me.
Finishing up with We Can Do It with the mice from Cinderella. There's not much detail in the back of the ornament, but that's fine because they've saved it all for the front. And we have the pattern book for Cinderella's dress, and the mice about to get busy. I just love that they've caught them mid-motion, and I think they're absolutely true to the movie. And this ornament is just so cute. This just looks like a moment taken out of the movie. They've absolutely captured that pattern book. And the way the mice are mid-motion and excited. Mate, this is such a cute ornament. And let's be honest, they're all my favourites, but how do you choose? I hope you found some of this interesting or helpful, and if you have, please consider subscribing or just liking the video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.